I want to give you 5 reasons why your risk register in Excel is trash, respectfully. First of all, before I get started, let me just say one thing. When you use the Microsoft 365 suite, SharePoint and anything else inside of the Microsoft 365 suite has access to your information. In other words, once you log in, the whole entire suite knows who you are and everything you do, which brings me to my first point. If you put your risk register inside of SharePoint, your user information and everyone else's user information is automatically tracked. So if you put in a risk, SharePoint tracks information about that. It knows who created it, what time it was created, the last time it was edited, and who edited it. It knows all of that stuff automatically. You cannot do that in Excel. Every single row in a SharePoint list is a record, unlike a spreadsheet where the whole entire thing is a record. Number 2, I'm going to stick here with the system knowing who's doing what. So in SharePoint, you get to set up automatic notifications. So whoever created the risk, if they wanted to put a user inside of the owner field, which that, remember, the SharePoint has access to everyone inside of your organization. If I put usernames inside of the owners field, then when I create a risk, I can set up an automation that says send an email to that owner automatically. That is something you can do out of the box with SharePoint. Number 3, I'm sticking with the theme here about SharePoint knowing who's doing what. So in SharePoint, you could set up something called views. If you want to know more about views, then let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about views. You can set up something called views. You can create a view called My Risks, and then everyone who logs into that view, they will see only their risks. So what's cool about it too is that you get a unique URL for every view that you create. So imagine now that you create a view called My Risks, then you take that URL, you send it to everybody that you know is on the project with you, and then you say, make sure you go in and update your risks. It doesn't matter who clicks on that link, as long as they have risks assigned to them inside of the risk register. When they get to that screen, they're only going to see their risks. Number 4. So if we stick with the theme, right? Again, with SharePoint knowing who's logged in and who's doing what, when you use a risk register inside of SharePoint, you get version history. So you get to see who's doing what and when they did it. So originally, remember I told you that you could have a created by, modified by, all that stuff. That's automatically tracked on each record. But also, if you click on a record inside of a record is a risk. Those words, I'm using them interchangeably. So if you click on a risk inside of your list, you can view the version history. And then that version history will give you all of the different versions and tell you who did what at what step and what time. Deep, beautiful stuff right there that you cannot do with a spreadsheet. Number 5, true collaboration. So if you're logged in and I'm logged in and somebody else is logged in to a spreadsheet hosted in a SharePoint library, let's say in a folder somewhere, because I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, well, I could get efficient use out of my risk register by just putting that document inside of a library and everybody could just go to that one single area. Cool. I ain't gonna knock you for that. However, if me and you and everybody else is logged into that spreadsheet, everything y'all are doing while I'm doing it, I see it and it affects me. So if you're deleting columns, or let's say you're hiding columns and you're making things bold and you're creating new sections, you're doing all types of things on there so that you could work efficiently. I get it. I know why you're doing it. But while you're doing it, it's affecting what I'm doing. You're hiding columns on my screen. Same thing for somebody else. You're messing up our view. And if I come in there and I log into that spreadsheet on Tuesday after you've been working on it on Monday night, everything you did to the spreadsheet, I'm going to see. That's not collaboration. That's not true collaboration. If you use a SharePoint list, you don't have that. I could log in, you could log in, and other team members supporting the project can log in. If you do something, it does not affect what I'm doing. The only thing you're changing is the data, but not the way I interact, view, and manage the data. SharePoint allows true collaboration in that way. Now, listen, if you want to know more, I have a course on this that teaches you how to do this. And to tell you the truth, I'm gonna just be straight up. It is 2 million times better than what you're doing in Excel. And I'm not going to do it for you. And instead, I'm going to teach you, because guess what? I'm not going to give you any fish. It's better if I teach you how to fish. Go take the training. And I guarantee you will come back to your organization and everybody's going to be like, yo, how are you doing that? And then you can just say, yo, just go to this training by Therm. You know what I'm saying? SharePoint Help Desk.